What's up, Switch fans? Welcome back to SwitchTop. 2025 has been an absolutely incredible year for the Nintendo Switch, and today we're counting down the top 10 best games that launched this year. We've got everything from intense action games to massive RPGs, so let's jump right in. Absolum stands out on Nintendo Switch by blending classic, side-scrolling, beat-em-up action with a modern, roguelite structure that keeps every run engaging. Combat focuses on tight, combo-driven encounters built around light and heavy attacks, evasive dodges, counters, and well-timed parries, creating a rhythm that rewards skill rather than button mashing. As you fight, mana builds to unleash powerful arcana abilities, adding a layer of tactical decision-making to each encounter. The roguelite side comes through rituals and upgrades that reshape your playstyle every run, offering elemental effects, passive bonuses, and risk-reward choices that encourage experimentation. Each playable character brings a distinct feel, from heavy melee fighters to agile dual wielders and magic-focused combatants, making repeated runs feel meaningfully different. The game's structure revolves around branching paths, varied enemy groups, and a hub area where progress carries over through permanent unlocks, pushing you to go further each time. Narratively, Absolum is set in the fantasy world of Talum, where magic is forbidden and feared, and the story unfolds gradually through dialogue, encounters, and environmental details rather than long cutscenes.
Breakers of the peace, intruders!
Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition delivers one of the most ambitious open-world RPG experiences available on Nintendo Switch. Built around pure exploration, flexible combat, and a strong sense of scale. Set on the alien planet Mira, the game places you in the role of a customizable survivor, working with Blade to help humanity rebuild in the sprawling hub city of New Los Angeles. Gameplay revolves around seamless exploration across massive regions filled with distinct biomes, towering landmarks, and dangerous wildlife, rewarding curiosity through resource gathering, map probes, and meaningful side missions. Combat blends real-time action with tactical depth, as characters auto-attack while you manage arts, positioning, cooldowns, and party synergy, creating encounters that feel strategic without breaking flow. As progression continues, the introduction of Skell's giant pilotable mechs fundamentally changes traversal and combat, allowing flight, heavy weaponry, and new approaches to both enemies and the environment. Character growth is driven by a deep class system, extensive gear customization, and skill optimization, letting players shape specialized builds for different playstyles. Trails in the Sky First Chapter offers a carefully paced JRPG experience that focuses on character growth, tactical combat, and detailed world-building rather than constant spectacle. Set in the Kingdom of Liberl, the game follows Estelle and Joshua Bright as they train within the Bracer Guild, taking on local requests that slowly reveal deeper political tensions and personal conflicts. Gameplay combines smooth exploration across towns, roads, and regional routes with structured, turn-based battles where positioning, turn order, and ability timing play a major role. Combat depth comes from the Orbment and Court system, allowing players to customize stats, passive bonuses, and powerful arts, encouraging experimentation and thoughtful party builds. Encounters reward planning over speed, making every fight feel deliberate and readable. Outside combat, side quests and NPC interactions are a major focus, with dialogue evolving as the story progresses, giving the world a strong sense of continuity and realism. Rather than relying on dramatic twists early on, the narrative builds slowly through everyday events, strengthening emotional payoff as relationships develop and stakes rise naturally.
Follow my lead, Joshua! Joshua!
Yes! I'll be your opponent!
Marvel Cosmic Invasion delivers a fast, colorful, arcade-style beat-em-up that blends classic side-scrolling brawler design with modern mechanics and strong comic book flair. Gameplay is built around responsive, easy-to-read combat, where each hero has distinct normal attacks, special moves, defensive options, and powerful super abilities fueled by a meter earned through aggressive play. The standout mechanic is the Cosmic Swap system, which lets you select 2 heroes per stage and switch between them instantly, opening the door to tag team combos, tactical adjustments mid-fight, and creative crowd control against large enemy waves. Each character feels meaningfully different in movement, range, and ability focus, encouraging experimentation and replayability as you explore different hero pairings and synergies. Level design follows a traditional arcade structure, pushing players through varied Marvel-inspired locations filled with enemies, environmental hazards, and screen-filling boss encounters that test positioning and timing rather than complex inputs. Visually, the game embraces vibrant pixel art that mirrors classic comic aesthetics while remaining clean and readable during intense action.
Go crazy, Vibranium blade! Thunder slash! Flaring skull! Thunder strike! Enough! Cosmic strike! Wakanda forever!
Terminator 2 D No Fate delivers a tightly focused, retro-style action experience that captures the intensity and atmosphere of classic arcade shooters while expanding on the Terminator universe. Gameplay is built around fast-paced, side-scrolling combat with precise movement, 8-direction aiming, and responsive run-and-gun mechanics that reward positioning, reflexes, and pattern recognition. Encounters mix ranged firefights with evasive maneuvers such as slides and close-range attacks, keeping combat varied and constantly demanding player attention. Level design shifts between pure action stages, tense escape sequences, and vehicle-based sections that change the pacing without breaking momentum, while large-scale boss fights test mastery of weapons and movement. Progression is skill-driven, supported by scoring systems, difficulty options, and checkpoints that balance challenge with accessibility. The story unfolds through interconnected missions inspired by iconic Terminator events, placing players in the roles of Sarah Connor, John Connor, and the T-800, while introducing alternate scenarios shaped by in-game choices that lead to different paths and outcomes. This branching structure adds replay value and narrative depth beyond a simple retelling. Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles stands as a defining tactical RPG experience on Nintendo Switch, built around deep strategy, deliberate pacing, and one of the genre's most mature narratives. Gameplay revolves around turn-based battles on grid-based maps, where positioning, terrain height, turn order, and unit synergy determine the outcome of every encounter, turning each fight into a carefully planned tactical puzzle. The iconic job system allows extensive customization, letting characters learn abilities across multiple roles and combine skills in flexible ways that reward long-term planning and experimentation. Combat emphasizes foresight rather than reaction speed, making every decision feel weighty and meaningful. Modern quality-of-life refinements streamline menus and pacing without diluting the original depth, making long sessions more comfortable while preserving challenge. The story is set in the war-torn land of Ivalice, and follows Ramza Beulve as he becomes entangled in the Lion War, a complex conflict shaped by political manipulation, class struggle, religious influence, and betrayal. Rather than clear heroes and villains, the narrative leans into moral ambiguity, presenting a grounded tale where ideals clash with harsh reality, and personal loyalty is constantly tested. Hades 2 expands on the fast, fluid foundation of the original, with deeper systems, broader exploration, and a stronger emphasis on magical combat and narrative progression. You play as Melinoe, a witch of the underworld, whose journey blends relentless roguelike action with careful build crafting, as each run revolves around chaining attacks, dashes, casts, and spells into powerful synergies shaped by divine boons. Combat remains highly responsive, rewarding aggression and mobility, while new mechanics such as magic management, hex abilities, and summoning effects introduce additional layers of strategy that push players to think beyond pure reflexes. Progression unfolds across two distinct routes, moving between the depths of the underworld and surface regions, each featuring unique enemy types, environmental hazards, and demanding boss encounters that test adaptability and mastery. Between attempts, the Crossroads Hub serves as a narrative and mechanical anchor, allowing permanent upgrades, weapon improvements, crafting, and relationship development that meaningfully influence future runs. Storytelling is tightly woven into the gameplay loop, with dialogue, character interactions, and mythological themes evolving naturally over repeated attempts, rather than through isolated cutscenes. Octopath Traveler 0 refines the series' HD 2D identity by pairing its signature turn-based combat with broader systems that emphasize long-term planning and player choice. Battles revolve around the familiar break and boost mechanics, pushing you to probe enemy weaknesses, manage turn order, and unleash stored actions at decisive moments, now expanded through larger party dynamics that add depth to formation and role management. Each character contributes distinct skills and passives, encouraging flexible builds and tactical swaps that keep encounters engaging rather than repetitive. Outside combat, exploration feeds directly into progression through quests, resource gathering, and a town rebuilding system centered on a custom protagonist, allowing you to restore and expand a destroyed hometown by placing buildings, unlocking services, and strengthening your overall capabilities. This structural layer gives purpose to side content, as growth in one area meaningfully supports success in another. The narrative shifts toward a more cohesive journey than earlier entries, tying personal loss and recovery to broader political and mythic themes across the world of Orstera, while still benefiting from a diverse cast of recruitable allies whose stories intersect naturally with the main arc.
I must, for the people's sake. Here goes nothing! Works like a charm! Let me! Now!
Hollow Knight Silksong builds on the strengths of its predecessor, while reshaping the experience around faster movement, sharper combat, and a new kingdom filled with vertical depth and hidden danger. You play as Hornet, whose agility defines the gameplay through fluid traversal tools like wall climbing, aerial maneuvers, grappling techniques, and swift mid-air attacks that make exploration feel dynamic and constantly rewarding. The world of Farloom is densely interconnected, encouraging curiosity as winding paths, shortcuts, and secrets unfold naturally through careful observation rather than map markers. Combat emphasizes precision and adaptability, with Hornet's needle-based attacks chaining into acrobatic combos while enemies demand careful timing and positioning. The Silk system adds a strategic layer, generated through combat and spent on healing or powerful abilities, forcing meaningful choices during intense encounters. Customization comes through crests and tools that alter playstyle, allowing builds focused on mobility, survivability, or aggressive offense. Boss fights are a major highlight, designed as skill-based duels that test mastery of movement and pattern recognition rather than raw stats. Dragon Quest I and II HD 2D Remake reintroduces the origins of the Erdrick saga with a careful balance between classic design and modern refinements, making its turn-based RPG foundations feel approachable without losing their identity. Combat remains menu-driven and deliberate, emphasizing smart spell usage, resource management, and enemy patterns, while expanded multi-enemy encounters and added tools like sigils and scrolls introduce more tactical flexibility earlier on. Exploration benefits from the HD 2D presentation, blending detailed pixel characters with rich 3D environments and dynamic lighting that bring Alfgard and surrounding regions to life, from open fields and coastal routes to deeper, more intricate dungeons. Quality of life improvements streamline navigation and readability, helping players focus on discovery and decision-making rather than friction. The two adventures offer distinct pacing and scope. Dragon Quest I centers on a solitary hero's focused journey against the Dragon Lord, reinforcing a strong sense of purpose and solitude, while Dragon Quest II broadens the experience with a full party of Erdrick's descendants, larger maps, sea travel, and a more complex structure built around cooperation and escalation. And that's the top 10 best Nintendo Switch games of 2025. This year brought us some absolute bangers, and the Switch library just keeps getting stronger. Let me know in the comments which of these games you're most excited about, or what games you think should have made the list. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to SwitchTop for more Nintendo Switch content. Catch you in the next one!